One of the biggest misconceptions of steel reinforced foundations are that number one, it is too expensive. Number two, it is not necessary if you're building a single story house. In other words, you only need it for double story houses. In this video, we're going to share some insights around steel reinforced foundations. If you love our type of content, please do hit subscribe, share the video, hit like, share the video with your friends, your family, let everybody know. And I'm also keen to see some of your thoughts in the comments. Let's check it out. Let's talk about rebar, or what is commonly known as reinforcement steel. Now, before we get into technicalities, let's understand why steel is important. Now, concrete is very, very strong. However, its strength lies in its ability to take compressive loads. On the other hand, steel is very, very good when it comes to taking high tensile loads. Together, they work very, very well because when combined, their assembly becomes strong in both tension and compression loads. The other thing is that steel and concrete do have the same thermal expansion, which means that they are able to contract and expand, at the same rates when exposed to heat. And so their assembly can actually remain quite intact in that sense. And so using steel, to reinforce your concrete is extremely important, and it gives you a very sound, strong structure. Now, one of the misconceptions that people have is that I only need to reinforce my foundation when I'm building a double story. That is not true. Reinforced foundations are important not only because you're building a double story, but they're important because they will help your foundation respond well to bad soils such as, let's say, clay soil or silt soil or whatever the case may be. The point I'm making is that sometimes soils such as clay that can be expensive tend to exert forces onto your foundation, and if it is not reinforced with steel, even though it's a single story, it may then face some difficulties, start cracking and leading to structural failure. Now, in front of me is a typical assembly of a steel reinforced concrete assembly. Your engineer would typically suggest that you put 3 wide 12 bars at the top, followed with a similar arrangement of 3 wide 12 bars at the bottom. Now, the Y stands for high tensile, suggesting that the steel is high tensile, and the 12 is the diameter of the steel. Typically, you find various lengths, but you do have a maximum length of 6 meters of such. Then you then cut into this fashion here, and the arrangement is then tied together with what we call stirrups. Stirrups are meant to hold the 3 together, and if you want to be fancy, how it locks together here at the bottom is by 135s, but this also works fine. The other important thing is that you've got to be mindful of how the steel joints, particularly in joints. Trenches can be long, with the longest typically being 6 meters. So if you're trying to put reinforcement bars on a 12-meter trench that is straight, you want to make sure that your joints are at least 650 to 700 millimeters. And so in that sense, you need to then factor in your joints properly when you are buying steel, because poorly joined steel can be a problem. You want it to have a proper overlap in the joint so that it can be very, very effective. This is called HSD, which I think stands for your high strength deformed steel. And the word deform comes from these ribs that you see on the steel, these little lines across, giving it a rough surface. And what that does is that it allows the steel to bond and actually make proper strong contact with the concrete. Sometimes you find steel that does not have these, and I think the point I'm making is that your deformed steel is far much better than the smooth one because it marries to the concrete far more effectively than one that does not have. Let's talk a little bit about these cover blocks. These 4 at the bottom, these ones are made out of plastic. You do find some cover blocks that are made out of concrete. Now, cover, like the name suggests, it talks to the degree or the length through which we can cover this reinforcement bar assembly with concrete. And so if you look at the bottom here, you would then see that because I've got 50 mil cover blocks, I would expect 50 mil of concrete here. Similarly, I would expect the same at the top. You want your concrete cover around your reinforcement bars to be fairly much the same so that your structural strength is consistent. Similarly, not just for the bottom, but along the sides as well, this assembly being 400 millimeters wide, we would then assume that this fits very well in a 500 millimeter trench, whereby you would then have 50 mil spacing this side or 50 mil spacing this side, which will allow for cover of 50 mil and 50 mil. And so keep your cover of the steel quite consistent if you want it to perform effectively. The other reason why cover is important is because if the steel is too close to the edge of the concrete, it then exposes that steel to water or whatever else is happening around the environment of the foundation. And that's why you'll find some people starting to actually put damp-proof membranes in the trenches themselves and not just on the floor slab to maximize the protection of this assembly from water. If steel is too close to the edge, steel unfortunately does rust. When steel rusts, it can expand, and when it expands, it then pushes the concrete, and the steel itself can cause the assembly to fail. And so the point I'm making is that you want to be mindful of your cover, fully cover the steel assembly with concrete. And on that note, you also want to be mindful of buying steel that is already rusted. Sometimes contractors or hardwares that are selling this steel will leave it out in the rain and you're collecting it in a rusted state already. Or perhaps you buy it too early, you leave it laying around on site and it starts to gather some rust. So rust is an issue, and it does become a deal breaker when it comes to how the steel interacts with the concrete, because the rust eventually will cause that steel to expand, push out the concrete and crack it. So be mindful of rust. Now, the geometry is very, very important. If you look at stirrups, they are typically 200 millimeters in height, and these ones would be fantastic for a 300 mil trench pour where your concrete is to be that much. The stirrups are then spaced anywhere between 500 to 900 millimeters apart. Obviously, the closer they are together, the more effective the assembly is. And so if you also want to be fancy, looking at the corners of your stirrup, some guys would actually go as far as bend this to a further 135 to actually make sure that the corners remain intact, and it is very unlikely that the stirrup will separate from this assembly. So stirrups are typically built using Y8, which suggests that it is high tensile steel with a diameter of only 8 millimeters. Let's talk a little bit about pricing. Now, people tend to believe that steel is expensive and that's why they avoid it. I don't think so. And I say this because it's worth the investment in the long run. Cheap can be expensive. And so if you avoid using steel reinforced foundations, chances are you'll end up with a cracked structure and you end up spending the money down the line anyway. So consider doing it properly and right the first time around. So a 6 meter long Y12 bar would cost you round about 85 Rand. And so if you then look at this assembly, it's almost a meter and it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And so a single bar would then be used here. What this assembly then tells you is that you are looking at around 85 Rand per meter of trench, which means that if you've got a trench extending, let's say 100 meters, you would be looking at a steel cost of roughly 10,000 Rand. Now, if you also want to talk, about how much steel do I use in relation to the concrete, a healthy combination, obviously you would have to consult with your engineer, but you need roughly about 50 to 60 kilograms of the steel per cubic meter of concrete. With that said, a ton of steel would cost you just around about 15,000 rand a ton of steel, which means that 500 kilograms of steel would cost you around about 7,000, which would be sufficient to build, a single-story house with trenches extending around about 90 meters or so. So do not make the mistake of avoiding this because you want to save costs.